Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
And then you pick, which I'm
So like
always excited for. Ooh, look at these penguins.
Oh, they're cute.
Look at this penguins.
A meme made me laugh before we got on recording. It was me at the zoo as a kid, and it was like, let me see the penguin.
It's just Matt Damon saying the F word over and over again. Because he bought a zoo. Do you get it?
Oh yeah.
Guys,
I never saw that movie.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Flyover State of Film.
Scarlett Johansson.
Man, sometimes you just have a good warm-up session. You get the crowd going. You just all buzzed up.
Every single podcast requires banter. As always, with me, Joe, TJ, Brian, me, my hat, my sweater, my hat.
I want you to know I am drinking a beer that is physically repellent to me, this Blue Moon Haze. So every time I take a drink, you'll see me make a face or maybe cough a little bit. Sorry for that.
I'm drinking hardcore water.
I didn't buy it. It's pretty good though. Daisy Cutter. Thanks, Sam.
Hey, subscribe, follow us. The graph that Joe made. All right. Mini topic to warm up banter style.
Oh wait.
We took 2 breaks, TJ. Two weeks break. The first time in our history of the podcast.
You know what? I had to do a double take for that because I was like, yeah, we haven't talked in a while. Really, we've just
felt like we talked last day.
So what you guys watch? What you guys do during the break?
Can I start
anything
this
of note?
Second?
Yeah.
I finally, as much as Laura wants to hear, finished the Batman.
Oh,
that's what I watched over the break. Better in the second half. Zoe Kravitz wasn't good. Paul Dano all over the place.
That is a hot take. I thought she was really good.
She didn't do anything. You know what I mean? She just kind of was.
Kind of scoured. She was very good looking.
She's very attractive, which is important in a Catwoman.
You know what's one thing with her character I just thought was weird? Just make her a fucking lesbian. Like, make that her girlfriend.
No, she can be bisexual.
Catwoman a lesbian.
I'm sorry, a bisexual. Like,
Catwoman is bisexual for sure.
Make her friend her girlfriend is what I meant.
Joe just wanted to see girl on girl action.
No,
I thought
I was like waiting for her to like emotionally care about.
You cannot have her just be gay because she has to have that sexual tension with Batman.
And they did have it.
Right.
I just meant like it was the one thing was clearly WB was like, oh, just make it her like really good friend she cares about instead of being like
I agree that
her lover. And that's all.
We also it was fine though. It wasn't anything. It wasn't
bad.
Well,
it was cut for time, Joe. Right? It was a very tight run time. Right?
Oh,
very
tight.
They didn't have room. They didn't have room in there.
Yeah, it should have actually been another 25 minutes.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, they already announced the sequel, obviously. So news enough as it is. Blah blah blah. Movie. Blah blah blah.
So what else did you guys watch?
Who's gonna direct that sequel?
Justin.
I was getting into that breaking news about how Justin Lin dropped out of Fast Furious.
Yeah, literally happened tonight. We're actually on time with the news.
Fast X.
The
Although
silly
by
part
the time
about
this episode comes out, it was 2 days ago, and no one will remember.
But the silly thing about the Fast news is it's a plug and play director. And it's going to look like all the others since 5.
Like we joked in the DM about an AI, but literally you could plug the other 9 movies into a random generator and create a 10th movie, and it would. And most of the fans of the franchise wouldn't even know.
I'm a fan. Like they're hit and miss, but like I enjoy the silliness of them. But I'm pretty sure F. Gary Gray did one, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a really good director, and you couldn't tell the difference between Justin Lin's, F. Gary Gray's, like, or James Wan's. Like it's weird
to see him drop out, have done this many, and then drop out at the very end like this when they're almost done.
Weird for sure. It was like, you know what?
I'm sure some weird Vin Diesel annoyance will come out because he sounds like he has his like fingers in every aspect of that movie, that franchise. I watched, however, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it was a fucking delight, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was able to stay away from as many like spoilers and like scenes as I did, except for those first few trailers. So it was really like a lot more enjoyable that way, I thought.
Yeah, I feel like Pedro fucking stole that movie.
Oh, he did, easily. Pedro Pascal stole that movie, and
fucking hilarious.
Pedro Pascal's good in everything, he just doesn't always pick the best projects. He's one of those guys who I'm kind of like, you could have done, come on, man, you're better than this, you know?
Yeah, like staring in Mandalorian, what the fuck?
Or he just like, he's also a guy who maybe knows that his time might not last, so he just does as much as he possibly can. He's like, I'll just be in whatever. I'll be in everything.
He's kind of like a Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played, though, his character Javi. It was like the perfect, just very pleasant movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it was a nice romance, pleasant movie.
And me and Jusef, I believe we both saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was awesome.
I was supposed to see that Monday, but we're home with fucking COVID.
Ooh.
That's the worst thing that's COVID done.
Yeah, finally, the pandemic finally hit home for Joe.
Glad we got those vaccines, you know?
Yeah, I am. I didn't get sick at all, TJ.
Yeah, he's positive. He wasn't sick.
I had a cold for a day. My wife, however, oh boy.
Beautiful, man. I legit love that movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a while. Honestly, it's been a while. I mean, sure, I've liked movies. I liked the Batman, and I liked, I don't know, other things. But that fucking movie.
A second thing, I don't know.
Yeah, second thing. Gives a fuck. Nobody's listening. So, but that fucking movie, man. I was like midway when I had like almost like an out of body experience. I was like, oh, I like this movie. You know, when you like almost like go like, oh, okay, this is my shit.
I love when a movie hits like that, where you go, no pun intended, you go, holy shit, this is why I love movies. Like movies.
Only like a couple days before did I realize that it was the same directors of Swiss Army Man. I had just not paying that close attention, which was like my favorite movie of 2016. Is a beautiful and absurd, much like this movie, very emotional, but also very silly. Like, you know, it's hard when you get labeled the farting corpse movie coming out of like film festivals and stuff, but there is a lot. It was a good one, and this was great too.
I actually, just to speak on what I did see, by the numbers sports movies, saw King Richard. You know,
exactly that, TJ. By the numbers, it was so like mediocre.
It's fine. It's great. You know, it's one of those things like I like it because it is the by the numbers sports movie.
The formula for a biopic is so easy. You know what I mean? Like they just know exactly what to do. They know how to pull your heartstrings.
The actors in it. The actors in it. Other than Will Smith, the younger versions
of great.
They're incredible.
Yeah, they were slap me good.
You know what's silly say by the numbers? We just watched last week on Jackie Robinson Day 42. And I was like, really great movie. Chadwick's great, but it's your by the numbers, you know, biopic and like good Harrison Ford Jim performance.
Brown, like,
but you know what's by the numbers? I know that I think everybody already said talk, right? All right. Yeah. So second round for me. Do you know that what's by the numbers, but in like the extremely bad way, is all this Netflix and Hulu documentaries, and like the prime example of like a very fucking boring, very by the numbers, documentary was the Abercrombie and Fitch one that came out.
My wife.
It was top 5 in the United States. My wife hit play on that shit, and granted, it's a valid story to tell, like in a fucking 20-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, well, Making a Murderer fucked us up by doing the 10 episodes and making that the norm, because so many of these are like, this could have been an hour and a half.
I saw Brian.
You got 6 episodes, and this is fuck. You can tell when you're starting the ones that like, okay, here's the episode where we're gonna do a whole red herring, and then there's never gonna, and then at the very end, it's not gonna be him, and it's not gonna matter. We're gonna go right back to our main suspect.
Brian summed it up perfectly in a tweet recently. It's like all these things that could be a 2-hour movie.
Oh, I don't follow him. Sorry.
Are now like series, right? I think you tweeted out. That goes for those documentaries. I put on so many where the first episode's a good hook.
I'll tell you what. I'm thinking that about. We can talk about it because it's new still, and I haven't even brought up the other thing I was going to talk about. But we can talk about Moon Knight. I feel like Moon Knight is just dragging its feet. Like I'm like, okay.
I'm like, look like legit doctor.
People stand around in an area and talk. Action sequence, but like something else progresses. Like, just get on with the story already.
The only people who still like talk about it are literally the ones that are hired to.
Yeah, like
your
the
Twitter,
Marvel accounts. The people who have Marvel in the name of their Twitter or the name of their YouTube.
Like, oh my god, new episode dropped. Look at the infrastructure.
That being said, I watched all the Mr. Sunday recap videos.
It looked like dog shit, honestly. It legit looked like dog shit. So
it's better than a lot of the ones we've seen.
No, it's not. I've watched all of them, and it's at the bottom. And I think this is maybe the worst one.
We're finally working our way through Better Call Saul, and I just today went, oh, what a better way to like build a world and spin-offs to keep doing, and instead of bombarding everyone with like 3-5 shows at once that Star Wars and Disney that Marvel are doing.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was Russian Doll. Anybody watch the first season? Anybody fan of the first season?
3 episodes and I fell off.
It's okay. It's not for everybody. I get it. I did like the first season a lot. I was excited for season 2. Not great.
I like this. I like the first season. It teetered off in the end, and when they announced season 2, I was like, "What?" You can search my Twitter, man. I always tell the truth, bro. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And as soon as I hit play 2 episodes in, I was like, "Yep." Exactly.
Yeah, it feels like that thing. Like we didn't have a second season in mind, but because people like this, we're going to come up with something. Mm-hmm. And like there are some elements written into it that are good. There's smarter than me will dissect like what they're saying about generational trauma and moving forward instead of looking back and this, that, and the other, and that's fine. But also there is like no joke a 3 or 4. The show is only 7 episodes, and there's like 3 or 4 episodes spent on a quest that ends up not meaning anything.
That's how you know that.
That's bad storytelling, baby. Like you can have your themes, but just on a storytelling level, that sucks.
Yeah, that one never hooked me. It's because
it's on Netflix, and Netflix didn't promote it, so nobody's going to see it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So because we mentioned earlier, been home since Saturday, I have been just burning through movies and let's watch this good shit. And I revisited Walking Tall.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I just picked it up, and honestly, really fun movie. The tone is it doesn't know if it wants to be serious or like fun, and
because
it works.
of The Rock's persona, especially that era, like he was literally right off of wrestling.
He's still The Rock.
Yeah, he's still very much The Rock. So they felt like they had to give him lines like that, like joke lines and disses and shit.
It made me all movies of that era when I see them makes me just wish there was more movies with Johnny Knoxville in it. Just being Johnny Knoxville, always enjoyable.
Skip Trace. It's him and Johnny Knoxville and Jackie Chan.
What?
Come on, seek that bad boy out.
Yeah, it's up there.
Absolutely.
I'll say, Joe, one of the best scenes in the movie Walking Tall is just Johnny Knoxville and The Rock sitting on the couch for that like minute mark.
Yeah.
It's just like movies don't really do those type of things anymore, and like I would love to see something like that. Spend fucking $25 million on a movie like that instead of giving any asshole goddamn Fast and the Furious just to fucking waste money and not direct.
Give any money to Danny DeVito. Topic.
I don't think.
But TJ, you're right though.
Money,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, everybody needs more money.
Give money to Danny DeVito to make that movie.
Yeah.
Has anybody else but me here seen the second Super Troopers movie?
I just picked it up. I have. I bought they had a box set recently.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's not as good as the original, but it's fun. But there's a funny run with some Canadian guys talking about Danny DeVito. It's just not. It's a thing I think about now.
I'm gonna try
to watch it. It's so weird how much he permeates. He's just been around. He's so ubiquitous. He's just been out with us forever.
I gotta send you a photo, Brian, of the spine that this box came in because it's off-centered and it'll fucking drive you crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like this Best Buy exclusive,
You're trying to adjust it as you.
No, I'll send it to you. But I was like, I don't own Super Troopers, so I literally bought it last week and it came with both.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like $8. It was a
Blu-ray 2-pack. Yeah, it's cheap now.
Yeah, they're both discs too. It's just like a sleeve. Anyway, this isn't the Blu-ray show.
No, let's talk about Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. So, because of the movie,
Danny DeVito movie.
Because of the movie we chose, I was thinking, and we've covered a few of his movies on his on Flyover, but just favorite Danny DeVito movies, whether that's directing, reaction. Jusef, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Maybe there are movies that we're of a singular mind, and then there's Drowning Mona. So maybe this is my Drowning Mona.
He just produced and starred in that. He didn't direct it.
Maybe, but that's fine. It's not doesn't have to be.
If we're going produced, then Pulp Fiction counts.
Yeah. But there's this comedy, and I know now it's a cult classic, and probably everybody knows where I'm going with this. But when I saw it as a kid or a teenager-ish, I fucking loved this movie, and I was like, "This is the shit." And then internet happened, and then I learned that people hated it. But I fucking love Death to Smoochy.
Yep, that's my
He directed it. He stars in it. It's Robin Williams, it's fucking Edward Norton, and it's just this fucking weird.
See, that is on my list of a movie. I was looking at this for my picks, and I saw that. I was like, I got to revisit Death to Smoochy. I think I saw it when it came out, but again, the marketing was weird for it, and I don't think I understood what it was going to be. I don't think anybody did.
It's like Robin Williams, and it's Robin Williams, and Edward Norton is dressed like a dinosaur-ish rhino. And you go like, oh, this is going to be just a wacky comedy. So it's this dark drama with really dark comedy.
Kind of like the same thing that happened to the Cable Guy, right? Like,
very similar vibes as the Cable Guy.
Yeah, people didn't know what they were getting into. And that made my list of like something to revisit. I hoped it would come up.
But I like that movie a lot, for sure.
It's such just a weird movie, but it's also like, I wish Edward Norton stuck in that weird comedy lane. Because Edward Norton did like Death of Smoochy, and then I think he does another weird like comedy like this. And then he even does his rom-com, which he directed, which was Keeping the Faith, which is like an enjoyable rom-com.
I remember Keeping the Faith. Where he's
very weird.
He's like the sexy priest.
Yeah, Jenna Elfman and Ben Stiller is the rabbi. Like, it's totally fine, but like, can we get that Edward Norton back? Not.
I mean, he's flexed that muscle a little bit, but he's done a couple of Wes Anderson movies, and he's pretty funny in those too.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if anyone picked this movie. I was just kind of looking over his IMDb, and I was going to do more acting, but did anyone pick the movie Duplex?
No, that's a great pick.
But it's like you think it's like a straight up comedy, funny, but it gets dark.
Can I tell you about Duplex?
I think it really kind of got blown off as like a Money Pit knockoff when it came out.
And then it's trying to murder an old woman the whole time. Like, what the fuck am I watching?
So me and my buddy Chris, you guys met him at the wedding.
He likes the dark shit.
That year, 2004, we're 12, 13. We saw every release. I've talked about it on this show. We saw like every fucking release every weekend. And one of them was Duplex. We're like, oh, Ben Stiller. We went to that movie as 12-year-olds, and we were like, what are we like? There's this because you don't really process what a black comedy is.
Yeah.
At 12,
because you don't see color.
Women be shopping. But anyway, I just always think of that. But TJ, I like that you brought that up because I just revisited it like a couple of years ago, and like it's
a tough rewatch. Because you like.
I like that Danny DeVito has like this dark sensibility.
He
like
clearly does. I mean,
even Matilda
stuff. I mean, even Drowning Mona's got the same murder element. You know,
Throw Mama from the Train.
That was gonna be my pick. Throw Mama from the Train, man. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. What's your pick? You cut this out. I ruined.
All right, everybody, like act like it didn't happen.
That's right. Be really surprised and like.
And I'm gonna edit.
So TJ Duplex. That's a really great pick. Brian, what are you getting yourself into?
Throw Mama off the train.
Oh, it got me again. But no, in all seriousness, I love Throw Mama from the Train. It stars Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito. As far as like folding into what we were just talking about, the dark sensibility, it's right there. It's got that real kind of Harold and Maude vibe where you got a lot of like fantasizing about murders and stuff like that and death. And it's also got Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway, as Billy Crystal's wife, who we think gets murdered, gets thrown off a cruise ship. So props to that. No, Mama gets thrown from a train.
That one and Stop Or Mama Would Shoot. I would like fucking watch those movies so much as a kid too.
Very different.
It's like in my double features of.
That's a very different double feature. Those
of Mama in the title. I don't know why.
They got Mama in them now.
My kid brain was like they're in the same
culture. You know, Mama. It's got Mama in there. That's like
exactly.
Stop or My Mom Shall Shoot. Or is one of those movies you're like, this is gonna be so bad, it's great, and then it's just a rough fucking watch. Estelle Getty, man.
I haven't watched this since I was a kid. No, I haven't tried. Any honorable mention? I mean, I feel like all of us avoided the low hanging fruit, right? We wanted to not mention his acting, like just straight up like.
It's like I guess because he acts and directs, I went to directing and picked some of my favorites. Also, I wanted to mention I was less familiar with it till we got together, and I'm still not as familiar as she is, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention War of the Roses. Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito also directed and his co-stars in it, and it's about like this couple who have this passionate love affair, and then they get this horrifically messy divorce and stuff, and it's kind of like a black comedy, like over the top, but another very good stuff. Again,
that it.
So much.
I was actually
Also, I revisited Twins lately, and that rules too. Sorry.
Twins, Juniors, Romancing the Stone. He's fun in Romancing the Stone.
Romancing the Stone and Jewel that I are both great.
Yeah.
Just because we brought up some acting, movie wasn't great, but he was always enjoyable. Very recent, the Jumanji 2 when Danny DeVito showed up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's a king legend in TV with Taxi and Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Always Sunny
I was trying to find this movie because it kind of reminded me of like Radio Flyer back in the day. But I just remember as like being a kid, Jack the Bear. Anyone ever seen that?
No, I don't think so.
The kid from Pet Sematary, who's also in like Full House and all those other things. But he's a professional clown whose wife's death in a car accident has left him to care for his two young boys. It's just like one of those like throwaway coming of age movies, kinda, but it's more about the dad and the two kids, but they're also like prominent parts in it. But it's like one of those movies I've seen. I don't know, because it's like deeper Danny DeVito than like comedy Danny DeVito. It's not like Frank Reynolds or anything.
He's got like a little drama. It's like Renaissance man Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I like that's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a chance, it's like one of those.
He hasn't done that in a while. I haven't seen him go dramatic in like a long time. He hasn't really made the attempt to kind of.
I feel like he's enjoying his second life just as like Frank.
Yeah. And he gets to be Frank. And on Twitter, he gets to be like a crazy lefty crank and just like say wild shit.
Show up drunk to The View, which is one of the all-time great TV appearances.
And show his troll foot. All right, topic.
We got another topic?
We do.
I think it's TJ with the villain.
Yeah, I came up with this one all by myself.
This is a really good one, TJ. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, TJ, great one. I'll be right back. Just keep talking.
I kind of fire these off, a lot. It's like always off the dome. Really help. But we were talking about, obviously, one of the greatest kid movies, in my opinion. Villains in child movies, live action. Are we not going to do like cartoons, or do you want to get into cartoons?
Well, I kind of specifically avoided like Disney because Disney villains are kind of already a thing that people talk about a lot, but there are some great ones, obviously. But specifically, I was trying to think of more live action ones because of the Trunch Bowl. Trunch Bowl being the villain in our own movie that we're going to talk about later, who is iconic in her own right. And we'll talk about why and all that later. But she's so good that like that's what gave TJ the idea to come up with this.
And like
iconic role.
Yeah, and like shout out one of the episodes. I'll just start off for one of our just flyovers I did with Joe about like kids sports movies. This one was like a kid I actually dealt with, played against, dealt with the dad, and I mean the coach in itself is a villain too. But Spike from Little Giants has like your quintessential like arc of a villain bully in a movie to where it just like starts off basically as you think, gets even worse, gets worse, then he turns around at the very end and kind of like comes around almost like Johnny at the end of Karate Kid.
But I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's like the dad is even the worst villain in it because
Ed O'Neill is the real villain. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that sports dad, and everyone's seen this guy in like any '90s like kids movie. He's always in there.
Oh no, I saw him in the stands at my little league games actually.
And the dad yelling from the sidelines, and you know that kid's going through like I had him pushing footballs across the floor when he was 8 months old, like that type of stuff.
That was actually legitimately that's my
so like as bad as Spike was in all these like live action kid movies, it's more than likely a parent too. But Spike's dad probably elevates it to the next level.
Do that Twitter thing of who's the real villain? It's
yeah.
We all know it's
because the only thing that like gives Spike the redeeming factor is at the very end when spoilers if you haven't seen Little Giants, when they win, he's the one who starts like slow clap and gets everyone else getting it. He's like kind of earned respect for from him. But like he has those moments in there where I'm like, I gotta play this fucking kid again this week. Like he's the worst. His dad's even worse. I hope my dad doesn't say something to his dad. Just like it's nothing. But
the fact that his dad has him doing like first time we meet him like pull-ups on or carrying a refrigerator on his back.
I don't know Army veterans or whatever he is. He's like one of those type of vets. But anyway, Brian, Joe, who wants to Jusef?
I picked the establishment, the government, man. E.T., Mac and Me, the Iron Giant, like even Wally. I just as a kid I always the first answer is like through the eyes of a kid, and this one. I just always loved the fact that kids movies presented like adults as the villains, because that's how you view them as a kid, and then you grow up and you go like, yeah, fuck the government, man, they suck too. So even as an adult you go
unless Joe Biden wants to cancel my student loan debt, in which case you rule.
Hey man, to save a re-election, that'll be
you want to save 2022, buddy, you want to save those midterms, you know what to do.
That's what he's gonna do, half at the midterms and then half for whoever's running in another 2 years.
I wouldn't mind getting that canceled too. But yeah, the government, man.
Like so many movies also.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like it is a trope, but it's such a good trope because you just associate this fear of this almost insurmountable power, and you go and you're just a kid. You're just trying to save your friend.
Entity like that oversees everything, and you're so tiny and powerless.
I have a question for TJ. Speaking of the government, because I know it's not the villain, but refresh my memory. Who was the villain, or was there a villain in your favorite movie, Little Monsters?
The villain was Boyd.
Yeah,
there was like a bad monster.
There was a bad monster. Okay, I just wanted to.
Two of them. Like he was supposed to get kids trapped down underworld before, because if you didn't get back by 6 a.m., you turn into a monster, or you start feeling the effects of it. So he wanted the job of the Howie Mandel.
I just thought it was Howie Mandel's germophobia.
Yeah. He was supposed to get kids trapped down there. So it has.
Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uncle Creepy's puzzle basement.
Shout out my pick for next week. It's gonna be Little Monsters.
But the Jusef, back to that though, the government is, there's so many movies that have just the government as the entity.
Yeah. But there is a different element when it's like Eagle Eye, when like an abusive alcoholic drug addict is like running away from the government versus like a little kid trying to save like an alien, you know?
And of all the movies,
what you're saying is the government should have taken care of Shia LaBeouf. I agree.
I am saying exactly that.
I'm saying
I like that stand. I like that stand very much.
The government still can take care of Shia LaBeouf.
Eagle Eye? You're gonna
guys, I just picked up Eagle Eye.
Hey man, I just picked the
Goodwill.
perfect. I could have done Enemy of the State and just slap another joke in there, but I didn't do that.
Eagle Eye was better. Good job. Well played.
Patriot Games.
Or Joe, give us
we just did with what's his name? Shawshank. Either way.
All right, guys. I actually playing off of Jusef. Another one. The Smog.
Oh, no, don't play off of Jusef. I want a good.
No, this is a good one. The Smog Monster in Ferngully.
Hexus is on my list.
Yeah.
That was
on my list.
Mother's Milk.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the Tim Curry voice, but the way he's animated, the way the muck moves and stuff is so cool.
But why I was saying it was going over Jusef though, because it does apply into the thing of like, it's just in the man-made, toxins and like global. Today would be global warming,
real
but
Captain Planet shit, where it's just like you pollute to pollute. We just do it. It's for fun.
I fucking love that movie. We're gonna talk about that movie again, again on this episode. But yeah, that would be one. That first one that stood out to me. That wasn't just your
That's that movie that has like 3 separate villains because you have the one fairy with the red hair who's like in love with
but that's just like the jerk guy.
Yeah,
right?
He's just like the jerk boyfriend. He ends up helping in the end, right? Like he's a good guy.
Lizard, who is what's the voice from? Help me out here. Tone Loc is the voice of Lizard, and like he has his moment too, but then it always goes back to.
Sweet. Speaking of Tone Loc, the villain in Blank Check.
Yeah. Well, he's paired up. It's not just Tone.
Oh, right? I mean, he's not the.
He's teamed up with one other dude, right?
Yeah, I don't know, the guy who.
I was just saying, who's the other guy? It should be Joey Pants, right? Like that's what it seems like.
It's like a Joey Pants variant.
It's like a wannabe, Joey. It's Joey Slacks.
That movie's the most ridiculous.
Joey George.
You'd think that movie's cooler than it should be.
No, you know what? I was like the perfect age for that movie to hit, and even at the time, I was like, you couldn't buy all this with $1 million.
He buys
the house alone is $300,000 plus, the property taxes, and he's putting a water slide and shit. Like
he's making.
Did he pay the IRS? Did he pay the IRS?
He's kissing
when
on
he received that $1 million.
He's kissing on the lips the hottest FBI agent there is.
Yeah, she's intense.
One of the weirder scenes ever.
That's a real Mary Kay Letourneau situation. She's like, on is like, I'll be waiting for you. That's all these people want to talk about grooming in Disney movies, but they're always picking the wrong examples. All they need to do is pull up Blank Check. Look at the real shit. Republicans don't tell Republicans about Blank Check, guys.
She's like, I'll find you later. Wait for me, Preston. Another 5 years.
Goodness.
And in another 5 years, she's gonna be ready for Preston. She's like, oh, I was kidding.
Isn't that how Aaron Taylor Johnson met his wife?
Yeah, he was groomed for sure. Anyway,
Brian. Keep throwing them out there, man.
This one I can't believe. I honestly thought I had low-hanging fruit myself here. Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's my second pick.
So good. He's scary, and then at the end when he goes crazy, he's somehow even scarier. Like
because they animate those eyes.
My wife, a grown adult, cannot watch the shoe scene. She can't do it. She's like, I won't.
What did Harrison think of it when you showed him that movie?
I don't remember. I think we might have even skipped with him. You know what I mean? I may have, but he was so little. It's been a long time since we watched it.
Yeah.
It's his makeup, it's his like outfit, the demeanor, and then he's such a great actor.
The fun of getting such a different Christopher Lloyd performance, which is so iconic in that era for being the Doc and everything. So
he still unleashes like his manic energy that he
that
has
comes out in between the trilogy. Like he actually releases that, so that's real. Like that's literally peak.
What's that? Like 90
Brown era.
91.
I got
91.
Roger Rabbit might be 89.
No,
TJ, what
Back
you
to
got?
the Future is 91. Who's 91?
Jurassic
Park. Boom, baby. Give me 2 movie trivia.
No, it's in 93.
Yeah, it's not.
We doing honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Honorable mentions?
I was gonna go with a fuck Jusef. You just made me think about fucking movie dates, and now I'm thrown off. And I had a good one. Oh, boom. Also,
1996.
No, fuck. This was a heart-wrenching scene for me as a kid. I still love this movie. I watch it on the holidays. I don't know why. Oh, it starts off as a holiday movie, but Dustin Hoffman as the Hook when he kills.
Oh
yeah. Dustin Hoffman is incredible in Hook.
It's one of those ones.
Our deep into quarantine watch along we did.
Oh, I met people there too. We had two other people. Yeah. Laura, maybe, or no?
Hook was one of those movies, and I'm sure I talked about it when we watched one. But like, I was shocked when I found out people thought it was bad. Like, it felt like a personal.
Kind of like That's Too Smoochy for me.
Are you kidding me? Like, Hook is.
Jesus Frank is like a bad Steven Spielberg movie, and like even that's not that bad unless it's 1940.
Rufio.
Because I literally was a child when it came out, and I just cannot separate my nostalgia. But
the world was so good, and like him and the mermaids.
Brian, me explaining to other millennials why like Space Jam isn't liked by anyone that's not our age is the worst conversation I have on like a monthly basis because I'm able to separate my, like I enjoyed it.
And Space Jam isn't even as good as Hook. That's the problem. Like,
they're in two separate camps.
They're not even in the same category.
Tell someone like my age, maybe Jusef's age, that, and they go, "What are you talking about? It's amazing." I'm like, "No, I have the jersey because it's a Bill Murray jersey, and it's like fun."
The line
he got to the game because he knows the producers.
Yeah, it's the best part of the movie. It's very fun.
Looky, looky, I got a hooky. Will always be with me forever. You know what I mean?
So my honorable mention, I know it became a stand-up bit, but the Iceland hockey team from Mighty Ducks 2, that coach did terrify the shit out of me. I know, like, Aziz Ansari, back when people listened to his stand-up, were like, that was his big bit. But
the dentist,
the dentist, it legit scared. Like,
Does you remember why he's called the dentist?
Yeah, because he has removed people's teeth on the hockey.
No, wrong, no? Brian.
No, I don't remember. I thought it was that he just knocked out people's teeth.
He knocked out his coach's teeth.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I love D2. I used to watch when I was in middle school. Like, I watched D2, the Mighty Ducks. Like, it was like. I had like 2 or 3 movies on VHS that I just watched.
Brian,
and that was one of them.
Brian, off camera, do you want to discuss maybe both of us going in on the Disney Movie Club so we could just acquire these like Blank Check and D2 on Good Media? We'll talk off camera because it might be worth us to share in it
too, right?
To share, to buy the DVDs.
I'm good.
Yeah, hey, physical media matters. You want now that Emilio's an anti-vaxxer, do you want Big Brother Disney to be editing him out of D2 and replacing him with fucking Martin Sheen? They'll just fucking wipe him out.
As long as that movie still has the teacher in it.
Oh, who was from Law and Order: Criminal Intent?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Catherine Erb is that actress.
Yeah,
she's like also the wife. She's Kevin Bacon's wife in Stir of Echoes. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Her and Miss Honey.
Pull that out. It's a little scary.
Her and Miss Honey.
Hey, FYI, Stir of Echoes underrated. Okay.
Brian's next pick.
I get Stir of Echoes and Stigmata crisscross all the time.
No, Stigmata has much more in common with End of Days, I would say.
Yeah.
Because they have games.
Topic!
No, I didn't get my honorable mention in.
Squeeze it in.
Okay, we already talked about the actress because we talked about throwing Mama from the Train, Anne Ramsey, Mama Fratelli, the Fratellis from Goonies, iconic kids villains. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. That's my honorable mention.
That's a good pick, actually. Topic!
Topic number 3. This is mine, right? This is my topic.
This?
We're talking about kids' movies, and I think we've done this topic before, but until we amass a fan base that actually complains about us repeating ourselves, we'll just do whatever. I don't remember. I'm just here having fun with my buddies. Fuck you for judging me. Anyway.
I love it, because Brian, like, 9 months ago was like, I'm not repeating any topics ever. The fans.
I didn't want to do it, but you know what? I since nobody cares. It's the end of time, guys. It's the fucking end of times.
Yo, I just poured a beer, by the way, once again, and it looks like fucking like sludge.
That like tomato juice.
Yeah, gross. Let's taste it.
I'm gonna drink this awful beer too.
That looks gross, dude.
It does look gross.
It's not bad. It's a sour.
Is it a milky IPA or some shit like
sour, but
you sours.
Anyway,
it's a topic.
Our topic was underrated or underseen kids movies. And I like a topic like this because it's so wide open. Maybe we'll repeat some things. Maybe we'll get some new stuff in there. Who knows? But either way, we're going to talk about some movies we like. It's just a nice, easy topic before we get into the movie. Lighthearted. We're keeping it so light today, guys. So what do you got? What you got for me?
Who you want to start with?
Oh, I'll start with myself.
Like any old Brian would.
Yeah, you know what? And thanks for giving me the opening. My favorite maybe movie of the last kids movie of the last 20 years might be Paranorman. Also, I was going to say literally all the Leica movies. All the Leica movies fall in the category. Missing Link is amazing. Coraline is probably properly rated.
Coraline's the best.
Coraline.
Yeah. The double
the rest
feature,
of them are all underrated.
The double feature I like to do with Paranorman and Monster House.
I can see that. Sure, I can see that.
Yeah, but fucking anything Leica has done is so... And you know, the thing that sucks about
it's a dying art, too. They're literally doing something that no one else is doing, and it's fucking beautiful. Like
You often hear, like, fucking film cocks talk about, you know, like, oh, even if the movie's bad, you gotta appreciate the work that went into. No, like, the movies are, like, fucking amazing, and they're super hard to make.
Exactly. Not only is the effort there, but the quality is there. Like, the Leica movies are excellent.
So this is what we're going to do for our next intro when we meet up. We're going to do a stop motion intro. Okay?
Great.
All right?
I'll start the pre-prep.
We're going to have to set aside 6 months to shoot an intro.
Is this what depression looks like?
Does this look like a guy depressed?
Just holding ourselves.
Oh, I do. I would love it. I love someone more talented to do the work and just me to get to watch myself in stop motion. That'd be great. What else? Who else has got one?
I do. I may have mentioned before, but I fucking love this movie called When Good Ghouls Go Bad. It's an R.L. Stein straight-to-TV movie that was on Fox Family.
That's a real deep cut. There's no way we've talked about that before. I've literally never heard those words.
And it has Christopher Lloyd as the lead. And it's basically Footloose. The plot is Footloose, but about Halloween. So like Halloween's
they banned Halloween.
The Halloween's banned from this town. And Christopher Lloyd and his family were like the candy factory that employed the town, and it has a whole like myth around it. It's just a really fun like Halloween.
Seems like a town with a candy factory would want Halloween to happen though. So
but then what happened is Curtis Danko.
No, you still have Easter. You still have St. Valentine's.
Don't spoil
Put it this way: someone who died, a kid who died, put a curse on the town if they ever had Halloween again, and the town's just believed it, so they said sure, and the factory closed. But it's just a really fun movie. I can't
believe that fucking Adam Sandler stole this plot and made Hoobie Halloween.
Similar kind of like like New England fall vibes to it, but it's a really fun Halloween movie. And that's my.
What was it called again?
When Good Ghouls Go Bad.
Good Ghouls Go Bad. All right. Sure.
It's very enjoyable, very adapt to.
It's like
I want to hear from Jusef.
I mean, my picks were Paranormal, but I have another one. I don't know if you guys seen the superhero genre, but back in the 2005s, the superhero genre wasn't that popular. And there's a fun little movie with a handsome guy as the lead. Sky High is what I'm talking about.
I did not see this movie till like a couple of years ago, and it's incredible.
So
it's so much fun.
Brian, stay on after because we got to talk about that, getting that account thing, because Sky High is one of those things they have there.
I already have Sky High on Blu-ray, Joe.
It's one of the movies.
It's honestly surprising given the climate.
Mighty Ducks.
It's honestly surprising given the climate that we're living in right now, where every single superhero content is stuck right up our asses. And Sky High has not seen like this huge boost that I thought it would.
It's like Mystery Men. Mystery Men's the same thing.
Yeah.
A movie that should be like crazy popular, or if it came out now, would be like hailed as the smartest, funniest takedown.
Oh, Mystery Men would be praised. Sky High would be.
Well, it would have needed to come out like 5 or 6 years ago now, but
yeah.
Sky High would be the number one Disney Plus original movie that people.
100%.
And the thing about it is, it's legitimately very good, and it has like an all-star cast.
Kurt Russell, Kelly Preston, Farva.
Yeah. Well, if you have Disney
a couple of the Broken Lizard guys are in it.
Who else?
Plus money, would you not hire Wyatt Russell to play like maybe an older version of the kid?
Yeah,
and then have another and do a Disney Plus series like.
I think there was talk.
Have him have a kid, an even smaller kid, like elementary school age.
Should be a villain at that point, and do like a Draken Wolverine type of thing, where like.
Well, Kurt Russell's still around, so he can still be the older, elder.
Hannah
Campbell in that character.
Hannah Pattenbaker, who I always thought was very cute.
Oh yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right?
Oh shit, she is in that. Yeah.
Oh, and the kid and the tall kid from Succession. All right, TJ.
Oh, he's like the rock guy, right?
I was gonna say. Yeah. Well, you guys know how much I love kids and kids movies, so like I was thinking, what? Anyway,
we all know how much you love kids. We're all on board.
We talked about Little Giants earlier. Little throw-in, Big Green. Anyone's ever seen that?
Oh, yeah. The other movie that isn't The Sandlot.
Was the starring vehicle for Ham after The Sandlot.
Yeah. But, like, I obviously I was watching with Matilda. I just kind of followed up with all the suggestions afterwards. And, like, Dunstan checks in with Jason Alexander.
Harriet the Spy. Put Harriet the Spy
Wait. Can we go back to Dunstan checks in? Jason Alexander with hair.
Looks amazing.
Because, he was like, I know I don't have hair on Seinfeld.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where he's wearing the toupee.
Yeah.
It does the monkey does tear it off at some point, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
it has to. Oh, yeah, obviously.
I love Dunstan checks in.
What I was leading to, following up on Jusef's background, starring Harvey Keitel and Thora Birch, Monkey Trouble. No, has anyone ever seen that?
Damn.
It's like a little girl.
Honestly, I think in my mind, Monkey Trouble and Dunstan Checks In were the same thing until you just reminded me that they are two different things.
Harvey Keitel has a capuchin monkey who acts like a Venice Beach like boardwalk, but he actually robs people, which you get Dunstan Checks In. But he's like a low life fucking crime guy, whatever it is. And then Thora Birch finds the monkey falls in love with her. They go on a little adventure running from him. It's your typical E.T. scenario, but like I don't know what it is about
those E.T. scenarios.
Yeah, like the movies in the '90s where it's like throw a person and an animal, Free Willy, young boy, orca.
Oh, literally, there was a formula of like, what kind of animal can I team up a kid with? They did one with a seal. They did one with a dolphin.
Oh, Andre, baby. Have you ever had
seal one? Andre, right?
Yeah. Have you ever had Andre Saturdays where you buy Andre, the cheap $4 champagne? Drink Andre and watch Andre, because I have.
No, I wasn't in college in the early 2000s. in the mid-2000s.
Brian, how'd you know I did that in college, bro? I was like, baby, when we bought Andre, because it was a cheap.
How did I know he did that in college? It's like the most college-sounding thing I've ever heard.
I'm like, we got to get together and watch Andre and drink Andre, get the seal, and he does the seal does the dance and wears a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, that's so good. In the Majorino, right? Isn't that?
Another great one, Disney, Born to Be Wild, with the boy with the gorilla that sign languages.
Did Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
I thought you were saying Jungle to Jungle.
Like it.
I remember seeing Jungle to Jungle with my mom in theaters.
That's a horrific.
That's not Jonathan Taylor Thomas either.
Yeah, but as a
mother,
that's
why
son,
Tim Allen's in it, because he loves racism.
As a mother-son bonding movie. At the age of like 4 or 5 when that came out, great film.
Oh yeah, obviously.
With the Chevy Chase, Jonathan Taylor Thomas one is good too.
Oh, Man of the House. Speaking of racism, That movie is riddled.
And we've already, I think we've been over, again, for long-time watchers of the show, I don't want to repeat myself, but I have a personal connection with Man of the House because I was, in fact, an Indian guide, and my Indian guide group all got to go see the movie early. Like, we got a special showing of the movie.
You know, Indians stick together, man. I got a Mouse Hunt. I like Mouse Hunt.
Oh, nice. There you go.
A mature child.
That's a mature because that's a very like classically slapstick type movie. Yeah, like it's almost like it's like a Three Stooges movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, Jusef is going to be like, I like Mouse Hunt and James and the Giant Peach, and those are my films.
I figured we'd just talk about James and the Giant Peach when we're doing Roald Dahl later.
Is the one brother the guy from Something About Mary who does the crutches and the
Yeah,
I was watching Ladies Man with Tim Meadows the other day, and he was like one of the main. Yeah, it's like one of the main guys, and I was like, "Oh man, I haven't seen you in any movie." Then he said Mouse Hunt, and I was like, "Oh shit, it is one of the brothers." Yeah.
Not a kids movie, but we all know the childhood I had. Big Mama's House.
Fair.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers is the movie where the man drinks the shit. That's a kid's movie, right?
Oh, you see my profile picture on Twitter? That's the third grade, son. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the second grade, I believe.
Well, let's talk about the cream of the crop then.
Let's do some honorable. We got honorable.
Yeah, we got time. Honorable mention. I mentioned earlier.
I really want to talk about Matilda.
No, all right, real quick, Ferngully. We've talked about it enough.
Yes, Ferngully's incredible.
Yeah, Ferngully's great.
But yes, honorable mentions. Speed round.
A couple of more recent releases. I had The Kid Who Would Be King.
Yeah.
And also Jack Black's Spooky Trilogy, the two Ghostbusters movies, or the
and
House of the Clock on Its Walls.
You could actually catch me on a podcast called "What's Your Least Favorite Scary Movie?" talking Goosebumps, Jack Black, and how much I fucking adore that series. And I do mention A House and a Clock on Its Walls because that is phenomenal. Also,
it feels like they're just ancestors. Like they feel like those are just the two movies in the same different eras.
Didn't they come out in the same year?
No, they were.
I think the second one. I think House of the Clock on Its Walls came out the same year as Goosebumps.
Yeah, it is Eli Roth's best movie.
And I have to repeat myself. If I wouldn't be Brian if I didn't say the same thing all the time. Flight of the Navigator, all time, underrated, underseen.
TJ, what were you saying?
I haven't done a Flyover of Brian yet.
Flight of the Navigator slaps, man. It's
let's do the that King movie and the Clock on the Walls because I haven't seen either of them.
You haven't seen either of those? Oh, they're great. Yeah.
TJ, I may have a digital code for you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, there's been some good like low underrated kids movies that have come out. But I feel like you nailed to talk about one now. Because I also would add Monster House to that too.
Sure.
Which actually does feature one of my favorite like payoff. Like, and it's not really a joke, but like it has the main guy in it is gay. Like the jock, but he reveals it out at the end, and Anna Kendrick's character is like the bimbo is like crushing on him the whole movie, and then at the end he's like, "Yeah, that's great."
You're talking about Paranorman. That's in Paranorman.
Wait, that's Paranorman? I thought that was Monster House.
It's Casey Affleck.
Holy shit!
And she's been crushed on him the whole movie, and she's like, you should meet my boyfriend.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna say. Sorry, I always flip them. Sorry, no, go on.
It is a great moment, though. That's a really funny moment, especially to be in a kids movie in 2010.
Yeah, it's just very like there, and it's hysterical. But yeah, let's talk about Matilda.
It's not a bad movie to mix that up with. Both are very good.
Yeah.
All right, it was my pick. Like I said in previous episode, I know you guys hang on to every single word. My wife wanted to watch this movie, and I instantly knew, like, oh no. This has to be a Flyover because I'm not gonna spend time with you unless it benefits me.
Right, you can I'm always thinking about producing content. Yeah. So if I'm going to be spending time with my wife, I need that to be productive in some way.
You know what? Exactly. Before we even begin, go bully my fucking wife because she don't like this movie.
She doesn't like Matilda. I thought all young girls were like just
she didn't grow up
instinctively in love with Matilda.
She didn't grow up with it. I showed it to her about a year and a half ago, maybe. I was like, "You're gonna love this movie. It's so good." And she went, "It's fine. It's really sad."
I guess she didn't grow up with taste either.
Well, okay,
she didn't. She married me.
That's a great segue though, because we can talk a little bit about how Roald Dahl does make sad kid movies. Like, well, he wrote sad kid books, and they make sad kid movies. Like, there's always people are horrible. Like, people are always being horrible to kids in Roald Dahl books. Parents are always getting killed. There's a guy. Like, a plot point is this in this movie is that the teacher's dad committed suicide, but maybe actually was murdered. Like,
but like in this one, there's like a hint.
I mean, there's a torture chamber too.
Yeah, like
those spikes are
James the Giant Peach. Yeah, the parents are trampled by rhinoceroses. It's pretty.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They're like suffering extreme poverty, and maybe the kids were murdered in the factory.
I've never seen The Witches. So
the Witches is so good.
Somebody get the Witches on this list. And not that crappy remake that Disney Plus just put out. I want classic Angelica Houston Witches.
I want
Witches.
mouse puppets.
It's well, to like back Laura up. It is like sad in the fact that like she's left alone. She
I guess
family is like kind of.
My point wasn't that Laura's wrong. I agree with her. Laura
no. I was saying like
sad shit about kids.
But this movie, they give Matilda an attitude where she kind of fights back. She's like, "Where all these books come from?" She's like, "The library," and she kind of has like an attitude to her. The only moment that I really felt like
she deserves it.
No.
Stuart Little.
What I'm saying is the one sad moment is when she's like, I forget what happens. It's blanking me right now, but that teardrop, the classic like '90s where it hits and you see
on the paper. Would you like on the book
because she's so upset and like that's the sad moment. But I feel like she always kind of like has a not attitude, but like a strongness to her, to where it's not sad until that
neglect definitely makes Matilda. Neglect is what makes Matilda strong. You know,
it's Carrie for children. It's Carrie for 6-year-olds.
But they had a scene.
To me, I thought I've heard that comparison. To me, it felt more like a superhero movie because both her and the Trunchbull have backstories.
They have powers.
They're parallel hero and villain. They both have backstories.
I fucking made that point.
Powers. You know.
That's true. That's fair. So it's Brightburn.
Right. It's bright. Exactly. It's Brightburn.
No. I fucking love the movie.
It's not even like the backstory thing, but like Matilda with the chicken noodle soup thing, where like he's like. Matilda learned from a young age, she takes care of herself. She makes pancakes. It's a lot of like those montages that make you feel good using the, obviously, I'm on my way.
You know the scene?
Is this the first use of I'm on my way?
So I used to think because of that montage, I used to think that song, they said omelet, because she's cooking like breakfast. I didn't know it was
That's what God. That is an amazing tidbit to learn.
So for years,
let's go into the rating phase.
That's it. We can stop right there.
Yeah,
we should just do a Flyover audio song of just called Omelet, and we just
Omelet. Omelet. I just thought it was just that's what it was.
I put in my green peppers,
Omelet. She's making breakfast when the song's playing.
And mushrooms.
Let's roll it back.
If you haven't connected the dots by now, you're probably of the Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman family, or at least you're the big kid. We're talking about. He's very dumb too. 1996's Matilda, produced, starred, directed Danny DeVito, based on a Roald Dahl's novel of the same name.
Anybody read much Roald Dahl when you were kids? Anybody?
Roald Dahl.
No one.
I only read Charlie.
I read Matilda. I read
Charlie Glass.
Charlie and
Chocolate Factory. I read both of those. Yeah. Another one I can't really remember. I know I didn't read the BF. Oh, I read James the Giant Peach. Definitely read that one too.
Oh, the big fucking giant.
Big
fucking gun. I thought it was about a gun that blew up zombies. I was a Doom guy more.
Big fucking gun. Starring Mara Wilson, Rhea Perlman, which, oh my god, she's so good in this fucking movie. And it was very weird to see her as anything other than Carla.
Yeah.
Because I think this is my first time watch since like binging Cheers like thrice.
Anyone
and her with her push-up bras and blonde hair and like nails. I was like, who is this person?
Hold on, wait. Okay, before Joe goes, I have a text message thread from my friend. I can send to you. But we're talking about Matilda, as a prep for tonight. I'm like, can we talk about the elephant in the room? And he's like, what? Because I did all my little kid jokes. It wasn't good. Wasn't hidden, as usual. And I was like, Rhea Perlman in this is fucking
yeah.
Get it.
Get it.
The blonde. I said the blonde tips, the push-up bra, and I said that fake ass New York accent. And he goes, "Are you talking about Margot Robbie from Suicide Squad?" And I was like, "No."
I am actually.
Yeah, kind of. I'm talking about Barbie right now.
I don't know, man. I may be in the minority. Maybe I'm not, but Carla can get it too. She's always been my girl in that series. I liked her sneaker game.
I do like a bit of sass. One of my biggest crushes that come out in recent memory is Stevie from Schitt's Creek. I'm like, oh yeah, she's badass. I like that.
Yeah, she's fun. But everybody knows what the movie is like. This neglected little girl from this fucked up family that's selling stolen parked cars that is being investigated by the FBI. She's placed into
Paul Rubin.
Yeah, Paul Rubin kills it. She's placed into this fucking shady as fuck school run by
a legitimate monster, by like a
monster,
woman?
yeah, by a villain, by a super villain. Principal. I only have to say it in Spanish. How do you say it in English?
Trunchbull.
That's
Trunchbull.
This Trunchbull runs the schools Republicans want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's a private business.
When she I could not stop laughing. I wish I had been high as fuck because I had forgotten the scene completely. When she takes that little girl by the pigtails and starts spinning her around, I could not stop laughing.
Oh, if we're gonna get in, might as well just do it now. If we're gonna get into the favorite Trunchbull moments,
your mother's a twit.
The scene where they're in her house and she gets home and she's storming around looking for him, when she leaps the banister and jumps down to the second floor and she lands and like the whole house shakes.
And starts running.
So good. I thought she was gonna charge through the door. I was like, she's gonna throw through that door.
I have a note. About that scene.
Chockey.
Like this played like a legit fucking horror movie. I felt scared for them, and then I wrote, "Don't breathe wishes." It was this fucking good.
DeVito directed the shit out of that scene as it's horrible because a kid.
And not just that scene, he destroys with the physical elements of this movie. Like the practical effects of this movie are really excellent. The way everything looks and the way like I said, the way she's shot as this monster.
I want to shout out
the lifting
cars
and all that physical stuff.
So my mother had a friend who when we were growing up who is a bigger woman, and she was very sweet, but she used to throw around, she's like, I'll throw you guys in the Chockey, and it would scare the shit out of me because she was too close to the Trunchbull in like stature.
So the Trunchbull's built like me with a weight belt on. She's a beast.
Brian, you should do that for Halloween.
Oh, that'd be a solid one.
That's a good one. I was gonna dress up with the red bow on my head, but tonight.
Costume. We all do Matilda. Can I be Brucey?
Everybody's I'll be Miss Honey.
Yeah.
Don't talk about my girl Miss Honey that way.
And Andy Muschietti, the director of the Stephen King shouted out Matilda because the way they shot the film, Danny DeVito, he did it from like an angle to where you're always looking almost up as a kid angle. Like there's no scene where there's a camera coming down. Or
that's just because Danny DeVito was holding the camera. Am I right, guys?
He always wanted kids.
Let's go into the ratings, baby.
So when Andy Muschietti shot at that, he was like, "We always have to have it angled almost for their own, looking up at adults or any eye vision." So like this movie, you think about it, like all the scenes, even when they're sitting on chairs, are always them looking almost up their noses of all the characters in the film.
And it really helps tells like the looming presence of Danny DeVito's father presence.
Yeah.
Anybody else find it weird that he's the dad, but he's also the narrator? Like his voice is so distinctive.
Yeah.
You can't separate the two, so it's weird to have the narrator seem so nice, but it's like clearly the voice of the shitty dad.
Brian, I'll say this. I think
Miss Honey should have narrated, right?
I think
that's
as
the obvious choice.
I think as a kid, I didn't pick up on the voice difference. You know, like the age intended. But you're right. They can't sweeten his voice up that much.
No, he's still got Danny DeVito voice, and it was weird. I was like, that's throwing me off. But I mean, that's a nitpick. Overall, it's a pretty solid flick. What else was it? I was going to hit on. No, what else? Anybody else?
Too.
Can we talk about the fact that the librarian should be investigated and brought up on charges for just letting this fucking 4-year-old keep walking into her library?
I would say that there's probably a deleted scene we didn't see where
if it wasn't in the movie, it didn't happen.
She goes.
What
to
are
tell
you fucking
the parents,
Snyder now?
Give me the DeVito cut where we see the scene where the librarian goes to her house because she's too little to be alone, sees the living situation, and makes a mental decision to be like, fine, I will allow this.
So I always thought, do they show the book? They show the book Stuart Little in this, right? I always thought there was a connection or a wink and a nod to her getting Stuart Little read to her in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, maybe. Maybe she just really liked the book.
Stuart Little? That's my favorite. That's right.
Yeah, it's in her writer. It's in her writer. All her movies, somebody has to show her.
But to follow you up, Ryan, did that librarian come back and tell the parents that she's in love with the child and to want to adopt her? Because Miss Honey gets a little weird throughout this film.
Miss Honey was like one of my first crushes. Love Miss Honey.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
Physically.
Although, honestly, I'm a big proponent of, like, normalize the idea that some parents are just shitty and some people were just never meant to be parents, and, like, allow room for that. Like, there's so many movies where the parent is a piece of shit, but they get forgiven at the end over they don't do what I would consider enough to actually redeem themselves, but the movie is like, nope, that's good, you did it.
No,
you're
this
a good
movie,
guy now. You're
they get arrested.
You're a good dad, and it's just like, I like this one where they just acknowledge, like, no, some people are just bad, and this is a situation where she's better off with Miss Honey, they're going to be happier, and I think that's great. Good for her.
Miss Honey clearly has a good head on her shoulders, because who else can find a $50 a month cottage in this economy? Okay.
Oh, come on! It's clearly like a fucking garden shack.
I have a question.
I bet that they don't show that building does not have a toilet in it. I
guarantee. Miss Honey taking shit in the.
What I've always
she's shitting in a bucket and she's throwing it out in the garden.
What I always wondered about Miss Honey and the Trunchbull is, so they break into that home, and the chocolates. How old are those fucking chocolates?
I think
she replaces the chocolates because Trunchbull eats a lot of chocolates.
He's always eating.
But she's like, those are my father's.
I think the box is always full of fancy chocolates.
And how did the parents die? Did the Trunchbull kill the parents?
Trunchbull kills the dad. The mom, I don't remember.
The mom died, I think, giving birth to her.
Oh.
She never knew her mom.
Yeah. And that was her adoptive.
Well, and it's like the aunt moves in to help because the mom dies, and then eventually the dad dies, and
Yeah, I was always confused on the relation. I've always been confused on the Miss Honey Trunchbull relationship, right?
She's her aunt.
She's her aunt. Okay.
Trunchbull's her aunt.
Wait, is she like the sister of her mother?
Focus in on me right now.
I think she's the sister of the dad.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie directs a Trunchbull
origin story.
Origin story.
And you can bring in Tyler Mane to play the Trunchbull.
With her fucking, what's it called? The
shot put.
And just over and over again. And then that's
give me Fede Alvarez.
Fede Alvarez.
Amazing.
Don't breathe 3, but it's Trunchbull running around.
The blind guy breaks into this woman's house and it's just, I'm gonna put you in the chockey.
Can we shout out Brucey?
Oh, well, I want to get to the Brucey scene.
Brucey
That's my
stars
favorite.
in a Man vs. Food segment in the middle of the movie. That was fucking awesome.
Was anyone else like really disgusted by the old woman's like cutting of the cake as a kid and her liver spotted crippling hands, and it was
that cake looks so good, man.
Her skin's just falling off of her, that woman that brings out the cake.
Yeah, that's pretty
But that cake, man, cake is glorious.
Yeah, enough chocolate frosting covers everything.
That's my favorite Trunchbull meanness, because she does you smoked a cigarette? Well, you're gonna smoke the whole pack.
Yeah.
And Bruce is
how big of a fucking oven does that school have that can bake that cake?
That cake was enormous.
You just take out a few racks.
All I know is I had a weird moment watching that scene, because I was like, when it happened so early, I was like, I thought this was the climax of the part of the climax of the movie, and it's
it's just so memorable that it feels when you're a kid. It feels like the climax. Actually, it's funny. I say that, but I never watched this as a kid. This came out. I was already a little too old for kids movies by the time.
You're always a little too old.
So I didn't really watch this until Harrison was little, and we got it, and I watched it. But it's excellent. It holds up.
Let's talk about the FBI. Let's talk about the FBI. Paul Rubens, stupid.
The guy who's the partner, he must be a friend of Danny DeVito's, that actor, because he's also in Drowning Mona and some other Jersey Shore productions. So I imagine that. I think that guy.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. The banter between them regarding the camera made me laugh so fucking much. Him, oh, it's my turn to take. No, do you know soft focus? Do you know how to use the lens? Do you know?
Well, doing no research.
9:07 a.m. You're like, I got 9:08. He's like, 9:07.
9:07 is correct.
Doing no research at all. Danny DeVito was like, hey, everyone, do everything R-rated and we'll cut it down.
Right. We'll trim it. Just go nuts.
The whole garage scene with doing the parts and trying to pick them down is probably one of the best scenes ever. And she's like, I forgot what she say to him, because the whole speedboat.
Dad, you're a cheat.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the scenes. I'll tell you one thing I liked about the movie, and I liked about the plot of the movie, is that she starts getting her revenge and she stands up for herself before she ever realizes her powers. She's not weak and meek and mild. She still is you're a crook.
Yeah, as a little kid,
taking revenge on him. She doesn't wait for her powers to develop to take her revenge, which I thought was pretty bad. It's shows strength of character from Matilda.
Yeah,
she doesn't use her. You don't really focus on the powers at all, which just sounds weird for a movie about powers.
Yeah, she uses them for certain plot moments, but the powers are not the story.
It's not till the very end that they really come in. It's the big climax is the using of the powers.
Yeah, she never targets her mom, which is crazy. She obviously does the brother and the dad.
Well, but her mom is more neglectful. Her dad is actually abusive.
Her mom is a benign neglect. She's I left some soup and some nuggets.
By the way, amazing
to survive. The mom cares if Matilda survives.
Whoever styled that woman killed it. I love all of her outfits.
It's everything from the Sopranos. I've only seen fucking
went to Vegas and picked those outfits out herself.
Yeah.
Well, it's that whole
on a shopping spree.
I know what you're gonna get when, no spoilers, when Matilda gets adopted by Miss Honey, and she's like, "You're the only daughter I ever had," and I'm like, "Here we go, we're gonna get speed." She's like, "And I never understood you," and I'm like, "You motherfucker." She's like,
but I like that. I like that they didn't give that fake cop-out ending of at the very last second, her be like, "No, wait, I want you to come with me." No, you don't. Just let me be with Miss Honey. You don't want me.
It's very in a weird way. Yeah, the movie doesn't make it look like they're losing a kid. like they do a nice job.
It's like a win-win for everybody. First of all, you know that the family's going to get busted anyway. They're too stupid to survive on the lam. They're not going to stay. So, like, they're going to get, the kid's probably going to get, the older brother's going to get thrown into foster care. So, like, the best thing that ever happened to Matilda was getting adopted by Miss Honey. She avoided some shit.
Yeah. But can we talk about real quick about Danny DeVito? Danny DeVito is amazing in this movie. He's very funny. He has a lot of good lines. My favorite being when the big kid starts choking because he sees Matilda using her powers, and he yells at him, "Chew your food, you're an animal!" And that just made me so fucking funny.
I know it's played as a moment to like personify his like wrongness as a parent, but when he goes, "I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm big, you're little, I'm right, you're wrong," that is a parenting moment that if you don't have, you probably like fucked up somewhere along the line, because you're gonna get to a point where you're either gonna have to like come down on that line of like, no, I don't give a fuck about another question. I'm not answering another question. The answer is because I fucking told you.
And that's all that was for him, but he just used the wrong words.
I'll tell you what, in this movie, it feels like, because Matilda's like this super genius fake movie kid that doesn't exist. Real kids are fucking dumb, and they push, and they push, and they push until you want to strangle them. So instead of strangling them, you tell them to shut up and get the fuck out of your face.
Also, on Brian's side, to play devil's advocate.
We got a lot of good stuff out of this episode. Good stuff.
I was to say, to play devil's advocate for Brian, like, these three dumb fucks, as in Matilda's father, mother, and brother, didn't expect to have a goddamn genius come into their fucking life and just kind of fuck everything
were just
up.
Happy being dumb and comfortable and just like living the dream.
John Lovitz play fucking $1 Million Sticky.
Oh, when a wild John Lovitz appears in this movie, I was so happy.
So good. The whole TV dinner scene also just looks so dirty. Like everyone looks
everything about this movie is sticky, including the game show that John Lovitz hosts.
Like, have you ever walked into someone's house, like their house, and you feel that way, where you're like, okay, yeah, no, like, this is nice.
You don't even want to sit down. You're like, it's
covered. Like a hoarder house that just got hastily tidied up, and you're like,
or like you can just tell, like they're like trying, and like maybe like the person you're visiting is like your friend, but like the rest of the family, you're like, okay, like I thought we were gonna hang out at my house today.
No, Joe, that's what would have happened. But I always went to, like, I would have clocked you as a rich kid, and I would have gone to your house.
What's what I'm saying? Like,
I'm like, Joe's got. I'm hooking up. We're going over to Joe's. We're playing the Super Nintendo. We're playing the Nintendo 64.
Actually,
he's got the special cooler with all you can drink sodas.
We did not have this cooler with sodas. We had the bad snacks.
Every toy, every video.
The best.
We got the Twonkies.
Anything you want, my cousin had in his life. But guess what? At 7 o'clock, everyone wrapped around the TV for Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy or some bullshit TV trays.
Not even Family Feud, though.
You know what, TJ? Like, what's crazy is
Jersey.
That's just, and not in a bad way at all. That still happens. That Jeopardy and like Wheel or just appointment viewing for like. I mean, I don't have cable, but
me and Sarah and Harrison would have Sunday night pizza and Simpsons. We did that when he was little, like all the time. You know what I mean?
Like, this is every night. Which is they are doing the Matilda thing, where it's like, if you're in this family, we sit down and watch TV.
Well, and it's not even so much just the watching of TV. It's like that zoning in. Roald Dahl had a thing with TV, right? He was an author in the 50s. He was an anti-Semite and a misogynist. And also, he didn't like TV because he thought the medium was going to ruin kids.
Allegedly, don't come in after us.
Well, no, his family actually released a statement apologizing for it in like 2017.
It's pretty established.
Pretty established.
Hey, I didn't know that. So we learn something new on Flyover all the time.
But the point is because he was a dated asshole, he thought TV was the end of all civilization. So he treated anybody who watched. You know, you got Mike TV and Willy Wonka, and you got obviously the parents here, and that's a theme throughout some of his books. And obviously, it's just like any other type. Media, you got dumb people and smart people who like it. It's fine.
That and big, disgusting, horrible women.
Oh yeah, well he like I said, he's a misogynist. He hated women, and he drew them as horrifying beasts.
Trunchbull.
All right, how we?
And I mean, I was gonna say, now that you mentioned it, I didn't necessarily want to get into it because I don't want to make this a woke podcast. But we can talk about how the Trunchbull is very obviously queer coded and like. And there's like a whole element of like her masculinity being played for a joke and being seen as like it's gross and kind of off. I'll tell you what, that painting of her, I have to have a dispute here because they go into her house, they break into her house, and Matilda sees that painting and is like, "Oh, whoever painted the Trunchbull must have had a strong stomach." That painting looks rad. Trunchbull looks badass in that painting. She looks like a killer.
What I do love though about the Trunchbull as that villain with the painting too is her wearing her Olympic crew cut sweater and the belt and like it's its own. So I don't know if it's as much as like your points are as like woke, or is it she's just like a villain, right?
Yeah.
At least they didn't.
Well, I think much in the way that Disney villains a lot of times are queer coded, like Ursula, and the guy in Pocahontas. You've got this kind of undercurrent. It's not expressed, but it's there.
Yeah.
Weaknesses though, she was very superstitious, hated black cats, broken mirrors, ghosts, I guess, too, in a sense. But like they have their weaknesses. But even like at that point, like,
can we talk about the Chockey?
Can we talk about Disney Plus giving us
Iron Maiden for kids?
That's all it was a fucking Iron Maiden with like deep spikes. Like
Iron
Brucey
Maiden was like
does not
rusty.
live.
It was like rustier. It was like meaner than Iron Maiden.
Brucey is a little too wide for the Chockey.
Yeah, he got. If you put Bruce in the Chockey, he get into Pokey. Is what I'm saying.
Brucey, the cutest kid out of all of them, by the way, but.
Yeah,
I remember. Was he in anything else? Because for a second I thought he was the kid from Billy Madison, but it's not him.
It's not. Never leave.
Yeah.
What's college like, Billy? They had a reunion They had a reunion a couple years ago for Matilda, like with all the kids and whatnot.
She is so woke.
Oh yeah,
Mara Wilson. As Mara Wilson was going through, her mom was like dying of cancer while this movie was getting made.
Yeah.
She Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman spent a lot of time with her and made sure the on-set experience was really fun and special and really made her feel good. She was going through a rough time.
Because we just watched this, I looked it up and something. I guess she re-talked about that experience because it's in the headlines again. Like Rhea Perlman is apparently became an adoptive mother after that. In a sense,
hot mother.
I like Mara.
All right, I feel like it's we did good, guys. You wanna wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do the.
We're going to the ratings. Joe.
Yeah, so this is a childhood favorite, classic. Truly nothing but enjoyment or love for this movie. This is a high one. I'm an 8.7 Chockeys out of 10.
Son of a bitch.
It's I think my adult brain is there's a couple parts that drag a little bit and whatnot, but other than that, there's no glaring that was weak.
The only weird thing, this is from a person who's seen it maybe once and was watching it again.
Go ahead and rate it too.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your rating. Give it a real rating. Oh, while I'm at it, you mean while I'm talking?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gave my rating.
I was just when we talked about John Lovitz showing up, I was I really expected that game show to play into the end of the movie somehow. You know what I mean? It felt like that felt like the kind of thing where you set up and then the climax of the movie is they have to do something. I don't know. It wasn't a detriment. It was just weird. I was oh, that just doesn't come back. I think
that's a modern day movie
really
trope to be
what's Danny DeVito ends up in the thing and the cops show up as he's collecting.
Yeah, while he thinks he's gonna get all the money and that's when the cops bust him kind of thing. Yeah.
I think that would be if that was made today, that would be the ending.
Bring down to 8.5.
As far as ratings goes, just really solid kids movie, really solid direction, fun characters, great performances. I'll give it a 7.8. 7.8 Trunchbull sweat neck ring in her sweatshirts.
Actually, no.
I'm getting it into my mouth.
I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate it, and then you can roll into your pick. I like it. It's a good movie. 90 minutes. Perfection. Danny DeVito's weird. Perman hot. Mara Wilson funny. Miss Honey. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good, solid movie. It's funny. It's weird.
Miss Honey did a thing in the early days.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a flat 8. Flat 8. I'm not gonna give it any decimals. Flat 8. Chocolate cake.
All right, I'm gonna jump in this one then. This is a movie not as a child, like you could put on at any time, even if you're watching it in the background, cooking, cleaning. Music helps. Danny DeVito's voiceover helps. This for me, I was gonna give it 8.7 because Joe did also.
Didn't get one.
7. Brucey's Chuck cover faces. You know what I mean? Because that's a C for me, which is right up there. You guys ready?
Oh, never. I'm never ready.
TJ, right. I'm always ready.
So for this movie, I figured
Wait, what, are we taking 2 weeks off before watching this movie?
Maybe we.
How often do we do this show?
Put it out there.
Now, honestly, Jusef, you cannot fault TJ for not remembering, considering we move the recording date of the show literally almost every time.
Okay, but TJ, what is this pick? Because these are all just semantics.
No, yeah. So, I put you guys through a lot of stuff lately. I put you guys through some bad movies. So I figured, maybe I should do an Oscar pick. You know what I mean? Like something really good, like something that's up there in the last 15 years.
Too much buildup. There's too much buildup. It's gonna be bad.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw out there a movie that I haven't seen in at least 10 years. I'm sure none of you might have seen. If not, but we're watching the fucking 90s pop culture superstar movie Spice World.
Oh, hell yeah.
My wife is fucking happy as shit.
TJ,
I probably, you know what? You know what's funny? I probably wouldn't have watched Spice when it came out, but I probably will enjoy it now.
Yeah. There's tons of British superstars in it. You know what I mean? We're going
Laura's
crazy.
Gonna be pumped.
I think Spice World's up there
for
us.
My wife too. My wife!
So Escalandra and Laura are going to be guest starring on the next episode. Because they're going to both demand to be on.
Alright, we're watching Spice Girls in 2 weeks, but where can the people find you?
Life?
Yo.
You can find me on Flyover State of Film, doing Flyover State of Fear, and all podcast networks, and Chendango1 just doing the tweets.
Brian.
Oi, you can find me on Twitter. Girl power hashtag.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Save it for next week.
No, I'm too pumped. I'm too pumped.
You guys find me on Twitter at TJDex. Check out the next couple episodes of Flyover Fear. We'll do a Flyover with Brian. We already said what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to do some kids' movies. Now we're locked in. We have to do it. We've done this 10 times. Promised to do things, never followed through.
Yeah, you already recorded the Flyover State of
Fear. Can we reschedule?
Bye!
I was going to say, should we lock down the Prometheus watch along? Oh, too late. Bye!